After getting a sub 4-hour marathon during my 16-week training block, something went horribly wrong. When I returned to the streets after my 2 weeks of recovery, my performances have started to plummet, so now I'm left struggling with knee pain. And all the signs were pointing to that infamous runner's knee. That's why this week we're gonna be doing a 180 and changing the plan.
All right, now before we get into what I'm doing out here in the wilderness, well, it's pretty obvious. Let's first break down what went wrong with the Bluebell 5K. So in the Bluebell video, I gave y'all my feelings during the race. And now that some more time has passed, I wanted to go and give a more detailed breakdown. Now, by no means was this a good performance on my part. I honestly assumed I was closer to sub 20. Coming from a sub 1735K only 6 months ago at districts, my endurance has definitely gone straight down to the basement. And although I thought of it as a great baseline from where to start, I can't help but see it as a bit disappointing knowing that I ran 1942 at NXR, a 40:03 at the Turkey Trot, both during my marathon build. Again, arriving there late and starting the race alone without warm-up felt like an absolute slog through the mud, and with walls and walls of people ahead of me, all those factors definitely played to me not being able to break sub 20 in that 5K. But this is also just a major factor on fitness. Like, I could tell I was just flatlining the moment I went out. Even before I hit the walls of people, I could just tell that I was already redlining 500 meters into the race. Tell me why I ran on mile 5 or 6, a 6:51 mile, but in this 5K, I struggled so hard to hit that in the first mile. But I will say it is a very good learning experience to just learn how it feels to recover from the marathon and coming back to run an all-out 5K. So that just gives me more reason to do better at my next race. Now let's head on over to the trails of the bayou for our next run.
All right, so I used to not know this before, but while in the bayou, there is a bunch of different little hidden paths around here that are just really great for running and so much softer on the feet. So for today, instead of easy running on the concrete, we're gonna be pavement tapping our way through these nice and soft trails. Now, last video, I received a comment asking what kind of music I listen to while I run. And you can even see we got the headphones up in here, so right now I'm listening to some stuff. But the answer to that question is absolutely zero music.
What I'm really listening to are a buttload of podcasts. I enjoy listening to this a whole lot more than music because I just can't tell how long it's been. Every time I put on a song, I know that only 3 minutes would have passed once it's over, which makes the run feel so much longer than it has to. But with the podcast, I'm just able to zone out and completely focus on the conversation someone's having, then my own pace and breathing. It's also great because I get to learn about what a bunch of professionals do, as well as stack up some of that runner's knowledge.
I mean, to put it into perspective, would you rather listen to 20 3-minute songs on your 1-hour long run, or would you rather listen to a 1-hour podcast for your entire long run? Like, for me, I'm just taking the podcast, man. It's so much easier.
All right, so it seems like my plans to build back up have finally been put to a halt ever since I've been graced with some old grandpa knees that just can't withstand any pounding, which explains all the tapping I've been doing recently. My best guess is that my thighs, hips, and glutes were all just too weak during my marathon training, which just made the knees take all the force. And so now that I'm trying to build back up, they're making sure I don't. Luckily, this is nothing compared to the pain during my marathon build where I just couldn't walk at all. So it seems like I'm gonna divot my focus more towards cross training than actual running. If I want to get rid of the runner knee infection I've been dealt with, it seems like the best course of action that I can take is to rest smarter and train harder. That's the motto. As for how, well, that's where we gotta restructure the training plan. My original plan was to slowly build that mileage back up brick by brick, but with the setback, we have to do a complete 180 and focus more towards the strength training side. By strengthening my legs, it'll take a bunch of the load my knees have been taking, letting them actually recover from the hits they've been taking. Wait, did that not rhyme? Although I can't train harder for running, I can definitely start locking in that cross-training mileage and get fitter. And with a new bike race on the horizon, it'll be a great way to take my focus off from running and really come back even stronger.
To actually do that, we must first fix up my bike, is what I wanted to say, but it seems like all of the bike stores are closed because of Easter. So we're gonna switch it up and go on a light little run to keep my body moving.
And what better way to start with that than with the 5K? What do you guys think? And you? Bro, what?
You guys are ganging up on me, bruh. Jeez, bro, they're always trying to start something. And something I actually did was switch my watch settings so that it only reads my pace and mileage in kilometers rather than miles. And I feel like if I kept it in miles, I would just be trying to push the pace a tiny bit more and really worry more about that than my actual knees. So I'm gonna just get rid of that worry by going with kilometers.
All right, so I'm a bit over a K into this run. The knees are definitely a bit not happy, but we're going slow, just trying to keep it chill and see what happens. But if it gets any worse than this, I'll stop. I have zero clue what pace I'm going though. 620K, I don't even know what that means. So it's definitely working in terms of, oh, I can just run whatever pace I feel like. I don't know, bro, my knees are just so iffy, man. They're so iffy. So we just finished up our run and it was slow, and that's okay. Like it's all about easy run and recovery. Like I still got my heart rate elevated, so that's great. Like I got a good effort out of it. My fitness is not, you know, no 7-minute pace at 120 heart rate. No, my fitness is like 10-minute, 11-minute pace, 180 heart rate. That's kind of the point we're at. But how did the knees hold up? That's the question we're gonna answer. And the answer was that during the run, they held up pretty well. Like they were sore, I will give them that. They were sore, they did not like it very much, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, okay, this is super bad. Like, and maybe I stopped once or twice to just like walk a bit and I got back into it. The knees were fine. Like they held up pretty good. And that's just one step closer I am now to actually recovering fully and getting back into marathon training. But as for now, we'll take all the little wins, and this was definitely a win. But man, I gotta say, some of the points in that route, you know, it was just some parkour stuff. Like it felt hardcore. Is that a train? Oh, what we humans build these days. Absolutely crazy. But let's actually swing on by to the gym because we gotta get absolutely swole. So I'm at the gym. It's closed. Oh my God. Change of plans, we're working out at home.
But before we get into the workout, let's talk about my new gym membership. That's right, I got one at LA Fitness, which I kind of teased earlier. And as for why, well, it's super close to Memorial Park. So it's great if I just want to go hit up some strength training after my runs, along with its most appealing factor, the sauna. Now this will be great heat and recovery for me. And although I have a gym at home, I feel like having a membership that's not too expensive would make me work out outside more since I'm paying for it. And in times like these where the gym is not open, or if I just don't have time to drive somewhere, I still have the option to work out at the RTM crib.
All right, so we are now back in the RTM cave where we're gonna be doing some light strength training for the knees, and I gotta say, so far they feel very iffy. Like they're a bit more uncomfortable right now, but they're still in a very safe spot. So I think it's just soreness, but let's get started.
Now, getting into today's workout, it was a short one since it was concentrated on my knees. I don't know what these are called, but I'm assuming it'll help strengthen my leg pickup because I've noticed that my running form revolves around one leg being stronger than the other, which is probably why I'm here today. I also did some hip movements to just strengthen the areas that can take off the load from the knee. And recently I've been doing this stuff every other day to make sure to see some results quickly and return to that mileage.
I gotta say, doing your Lego and eating some of this along with it, after a workout, oh my God. So good. These are the things you gotta do to get your knees super strong. Building Lego and eating chocolate.
What am I doing? Well, I'm actually reading some peak literature. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've actually picked up a book that I've actually wanted to read in like a year. But alas, if I'm not doing anything running related, I'm kind of wasting my time, which is why I've slapped on these bad boys right here. Oh yeah. And before this, I actually put on some pain relief cream for that double healing time. I know, those doctors fear my healing factor. I think I'm on page 120 and my rating so far for the book is... All right, now back to more important things. Let's talk about the race I'm thinking of doing. Well, since this whole knee fiasco has kind of ruined my running plans, it hasn't stopped me from biking. So we're actually gonna be doing a biking race pretty soon next week. Now, because of this whole knee fiasco, it's actually stopped my racing plans for running, but there has been a bike race that I've had my eyes set on. So why not do it? But before that, it seems like my bike needs some emergency care since its symptoms revolve around some air not being pumped into it. So we definitely gotta go check that that out before I can even start bike training full force again. Tour de Bronze is the name of the game, and that's the name of the bike race I want to do. The distance of this race is 100 miles, the Big 10, baby. So it's gonna be a test of mental fortitude and legs. So it's gonna be insane. And just looking at this route, I can already tell it's gonna be long, grueling, and hard, which is exactly what we are about over here. And since I'm having all this time to recover from the running, it's why not bust out a 100-mile bike race? I mean, it can't be that bad, right? As for any other running races I might have my eyes on, that all depends on how April goes with the recovery. And if it goes great, then I might do a race in early May, but I can't reveal that just yet. That pretty much covers everything that's been up here. This is Alberto from Road to Marathons. And remember, rest smarter and train harder.